Well, March Madness brackets are officially out, and right here, right now, I'm going to fill out the men's bracket for the first time live on this stream right here. So we're going to be starting in the East region, and I'm the kind of guy who likes to go with my gut with a tad bit of logic. So, of course, I'm going to pick the #1 overall seed, Duke, to advance, and then Ohio State versus TCU. When has TCU ever been good at basketball? Buckeyes it is. Then you got St. John's of North Iowa. St. John's just won the conference championship. That's easy money. Kansas versus California Baptist. I'll go with Kansas. Next up, we got Louisville and South Florida. I saw a lot of people on TV online loving the South Florida pick. I'm pretty sure they're on a hot streak to end this season for what I remember. So I'm going to go with my first upset right here to take out those Cardinals. And then you got Michigan State and North Dakota State. Like I would ever pick North Dakota to win in basketball. Michigan, come on, man. Michigan State versus South Florida next. Next up, you got UCLA versus UCF. Only thing I know about UCF basketball is that Taco Fall went there. Nothing really else, though. And you got what's his name? Donovan Dent, I believe. That really good point guard just transferred in. I'll take the Bruins. Then, of course, you got UConn taking out Furman. And so let's move on here. Duke versus Ohio State. Duke, duh. I cannot name a single person on Ohio State right now. But then you got St. John's versus Kansas. St. John's just won that Big East tournament. I love picking teams who just won their conference tournament because they are hot and ready to pop. That's why got St. John's moving on, Sweet 16. Up next, got South Florida versus Michigan State. We're going to go with Michigan State, go Spartans. And then UCLA versus UConn. I saw a lot of people picking UCLA, and I think a big factor with that is going to be the injury status on Donovan Dent. I did believe he did get taken out of the tournament, the conference tournament, because of a calf injury. I think he is expected to play, but who knows how much of a hindrance that's going to be. I got UConn. UConn has won multiple championships in the past few years, so come on now. St. John's versus Duke. The problem with Duke I have is that I hate picking teams who have a freshman leading them. You got Boozer, who is leading the squad, and it's supposed to be a top 3 draft pick, but I feel like that never really works out for those kind of teams. I'm picking St. John's, especially coming off that Big East win. Next up, Michigan State, UConn. UConn, come on. So it's going to be a rematch of the Big East title game. I do got UConn just based off experience Coach Hurley has in winning those Final Four or Elite 8 games, and I think the UConn Huskies really got it. And so we're going to move on to the South region. Florida, duh. I'm always going to pick the 1 seed. Clemson versus Iowa. I feel like Iowa always does damage in the tournament just based off history. I got the Hawkeyes right there. And then Vanderbilt versus McNeese. McNeese, I do love picking them usually for upsets, but I believe Vandy just made their conference tournament championship. Did take an L there, but I don't see them taking an L in the first round here. Nebraska versus Troy. I'll go. Oh, Jasmine is a Nebraska Cornhusker. I'm going to pick Nebraska. I have not heard anything else about Troy, so yeah, go Huskers. Cornhuskers, excuse me. And then North Carolina versus VCU. I believe North Carolina just had their best player get injured. What's his name? They got Caleb Wilson. I believe he is out. He was dropping 20 points a game, and having that loss for them is huge. And so I'm picking VCU because they also just won their conference championship. The Fighting Illini versus Pennsylvania, I would never, ever pick an Ivy League team to win a tournament game, so that's easy money. St. Mary's versus Texas A&M. St. Mary's is abysmal. Go Bulldogs. I'm going to pick the Aggies to advance. Go College Station, right? That's why we're here. Then Houston versus Idaho. Oh, gosh. I live really close to University of Idaho, but this is going to be a really tough one for them. Houston is an electric 2 seed. Then I'm going to pick Houston. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have Houston going all the way to the Final Four. Then Fighting Illini. And then Vanderbilt, Nebraska. Nebraska, I have never heard of being good at basketball. So sorry, Jasmine, but I'm so picking Vandy. And then you got Florida advancing, and then I'll pick Florida again too. And then moving down, Houston. And I love Houston basketball. I love Kevin Sampson. I went to the Final Four last year to watch him beat out Duke. But I am going to pick him to return to the Final Four. It's just a team in a program that I really think knows what they're doing. And having a head coach like that, I really love with that kind of experience. Okay, moving on to the Midwest region. Michigan, boom, easy. Georgia versus St. Louis. I like the guy on St. Louis with the glasses. Not sure what his name is, but he can give a bucket. And also, Anthony Edwards is not in Georgia. I'm not even sure how Georgia even is in the situation. Anyways, Texas Tech versus Akron. I'm going to go with Akron right there. Yeah, Akron. I believe that's how you say it. Anyways, then next up, Alabama and Hofstra. Oh, I'll go with Hofstra. I'm having like a 12-13 matchup right here. Oh my. Holy upset city. Then I'm going to pick Tennessee. I don't care about my IMO Ohio or SMU. I like Tennessee right there. Then Virginia, easy, easy. Santa Clara versus Kentucky. Gotta look into the Kentucky squad, but I'm pretty sure they've been dealing with some injuries. And how exciting that Santa Clara, the Broncos, are making the tournament this time around, right? So I'm gonna go with them. I love the Western Coastal Conference, and then you got Iowa State, of course. Santa Clara, no, you can have one win, but not another. And then I got Virginia, and then I don't know which one to pick. I'm gonna flip-flop between these two. I'm gonna go with Akron right here. I'm gonna go with Michigan. And then Michigan, of course, again, go to Elite 8. 12 seed is not going to make the Elite 8 this year. And Virginia versus Iowa State, I'm going to go with Virginia. Virginia, it just has a better history. I like that. I don't remember Iowa State ever really making it that far in a tournament recently like that. Virginia versus Michigan, I guess I'm going to go Michigan. I watched them playing the Big Ten Championship yesterday, and I was not impressed. Anyways, we're going to move on to the final region here in the West. Got the Wildcats easy. Nova versus Utah State. I like Utah State. I have not heard anything about Nova this year. And Utah State, I feel like they typically do a good job in the first round, right? And Wisconsin, a High Point. Wisconsin, I feel like it's a team that always gets upset. That's just me, though. High Point. Arkansas versus Hawaii. Wow, congrats to Hawaii, but this will be a short-lived dream for the Rainbow Warriors. And then over at BYU versus the winner of Texas and North Carolina State. I really hate teams who are being led by a freshman. On BYU, you got that AJ guy who's supposed to be a top 2 pick in this year's NBA draft. I don't care who wins this matchup. I'm having 11 seed advance. And then, of course, Gonzaga University, the best college in our country. We got playing Kennesaw State. That's easy money for Gonzaga because they're playing out of Portland, right? I'm not going to put Gonzaga to Sweet 16 automatically. They are so incredible. And then Miami versus Missouri. I have no idea about either of these teams, but go Hurricanes. Throw up the U, right? Go Hurricanes. And then we got Purdue, easy. Purdue, God, I forgot the point guard's name. I watched him win the Big Ten Championship. That guy is a bucket. That's a guy you want down the line and down the stretch during March Madness. Arizona won't be upsetted. Got Arkansas versus High Point. I'll go with Arkansas. What's the coach's name? Coach Calipari. Love that guy. And then Gonzaga versus Purdue. Gosh, this really depends on the Braden Huff injury status for Gonzaga. He is a big key piece to that program, and he's been out since January, so that's really going to determine this one for me. But I'm going to go with Purdue because, again, forgot the point guard's name, but that guy is a bucket. I believe he's 1 assist shy from breaking the all-time NCAA assist record, so he knows how to dish it and really support his teammates. I'm going with Arizona. I'm going to go with Purdue. I just love that team, what I saw from them yesterday, from that point guard. Gosh, Jasmine, I need to figure out what his name is before I keep talking about hyping him up. Okay, we got the Final Four here. I got 3 2 seeds and a 1 seed. Dan Hurley versus Kevin Sampson. I'm going to pick Houston. Gosh, I really hope Houston wins, honestly. Purdue versus Michigan. A Big Ten championship rematch. I'll go with Purdue again. And then I'm going to go with Houston. I love what I saw from the last Final Four, and I think Kevin Sampson is the kind of guy who always leads his team to the end and can really take it to the next level here. He's hungry. I'm sure his players want him to have a championship so badly. And so, yeah, I got Houston taking out Purdue in the championship. So that's my March Madness bracket. So, yeah, fill yours out, share them out with me. And that is what we're going to be seeing from my perspective on March Madness.